Camanachd Cup finals are interesting because of some of the people involved have never seen a Shinty match in their puff, like David Francie, David Begg, I think the first time I did it. They're all fun guys, they're funny guys, but they're completely professional. In latter years, we've gone down the same route as having former players, Drew McNeil, Eddie Tembo, Paul MacArthur, and probably Gary Innes, who very often when he says something, I really don't know what's coming next. That's part of the fun. I don't think he knows either, so maybe you'd better ask him that. I think the most memorable Shinty match I covered was the one where Gordon McIntyre scored the winning goal against Kingussie, Oban Camanachd player. Lost an eye about 18 months before that in a match against Kingussie at the Dell. I saw that incident. I was standing very close to it. I went to see him in the hospital on the Monday after that. He had lost his eye and he said he would get back as a player. He got back and he scored the winning goal 3-2 in the Camanachd Cup final at the Buck Park, an absolute screamer. And after the game, I remember I got him on the field and I was working for radio, did an interview live, and there was a famous incident a few months before that where Gaza had gone off a football field. He'd been sent off, I think, for something, and he went off bawling and bleating his eyes out. And amongst other things, and I'll be very careful with my language, Gordon McIntyre said live, "I've done an effing Gaza here," and he was greeting, absolutely greeting. He was totally overcome, but as an incident, as a triumph of against human adversity, to lose your eye and come back with a helmet and a face guard, whatever, score the winning goal in the Camanachd Cup, you couldn't make it up. I think if anything was going to compete with that, there's been a couple of Camanachd Cup finals. There was one notable one at the Dell where there was a bag load of goals, and it was a good old-fashioned Camanachd Cup final between Kyles and Newtonmore. It was a very wet day in the 70s. Fantastic match. I think that was one that stuck in my mind. But the other game that clearly sticks in my mind is the 1993 Senior International, when Davy Anderson and the Borthwicks and all these guys beat Ireland for the first time on the Buck Park on a blazing hot day, where the Scottish coaches had got the groundsman to cut the grass, to shave the grass. I mean, there was barely a blade of grass on the pitch. So the Scottish boys could run around passing the ball all day long, and the Irish just took one look at it and thought about going home, to be honest, because they couldn't get the hurl underneath it. Fantastic match. There were some players playing for Ireland then, Brian Corcoran, DJ Carey, some of the biggest names you would have had in hurling, and the Scottish boys saw them off. It was a fantastic game, but I'll always remember the most important man in that match was the groundsman at the Buck Park. Oh, that favourite player question is always a difficult one. I mean, there have been so many outstanding. Because I'm 62, I can go back a long way and see in my mind's eye people like Johnny Campbell of Newtonmore. I've never seen anyone like him, who used to hang about the corner flag and you think, what's he doing out there? Next minute he was dribbling along the goal line and sneaking it in. He was fabulous, absolutely fabulous. In the 70s, great players in Kyles, Kerr Crawford. John Fraser of Newtonmore, I think, was outstanding in his day as well. I think he was the complete athlete, PE teacher, golfer, all that stuff. He had absolutely everything in terms of being a forward player. And very close comparison to him, related to him as well, Ronald Ross. I mean, you can't go past Ronald about, you know, so many things he did, Kevin Thane. But I think pound for pound, I think one of the best, one of the top 5 Shinty players I ever saw, and he's not the biggest, but Davy Anderson, who captained Scotland, was, I think, in terms of his competitive nature, his skills on the ball, you could play him anywhere, defence, centre half back, centre forward. He tackled like a demon, wasn't a big guy. His timing, his pace, his movement, I think Davy Anderson had everything, and for me he was the complete Shinty player.